Good afternoon, welcome to Dave Devs. Right, so we're going to look at the brand new calendar creator, which is part of RaceDirector. Brand spanking new, just being released today in the recent update. So in summary, what this does is the calendar menu. It basically, so you don't have to create a check-in every single week. That's basically what it does. So you've got your check-in, as you can see on the image on the screen, and this is what you'll have. So every single week, typically, it'll finish, it'll end, you'll have to delete this one and create a new one. This is, it's a straightforward process, but it'd be nice if you could just automate it and have a sort of calendar, which it follows, which is what this does. So I'll run you through. So first thing you want to do is run the calendar menu. So basically, I've got two and two, two calendar menus, and I've got two check links. Ignore that one. You only have one of each. Obviously, the only reason I've got two of each is because I've got two bots. I've got the development bot, which I test with, and the live bot. You guys will have the live bot, so ignore the other one. So check-in link, ignore that one for now. You won't need it. I will run you through that later on. But for the time being, this is the first one you'll need, which is the calendar menu. So run the calendar menu command. It'll come up with the calendar hub. So what it does is you've got create calendar. Obviously, that's the first one that you click. If you've got a calendar, you can edit one. You can delete your old calendars, or you can just view the calendars you've got. If you've got to view calendars, I've got no calendars, and that's what will come up. So let's create one. Calendar menu. So what it'll do is if I go create calendar, what it does, it looks for a check-in. So if you've got, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 check-ins in your server, what it does, it looks for any one of it looks for all of those check-ins. So I've only got the one check-in, but let's say you've got one or two. It'll come on the list. And basically what this does, it uses this very first check-in. This is the important part. It uses this very first check-in as typically like the round it starts from. It uses this as a template. So it knows it's Formula 1, 25. It uses the same lineup. It uses the same ping interval. What else does it use? Obviously the same logic in terms of the teams and such. So as we go through it, you'll understand what I mean. So select the check-in, round 1, bar in. So calendar name. So let's just say we are season 1, tier 1, or season 1, podium division. And that's what we'll call that calendar, which is typically what you would call it anyway. I mean, what we would call it for our podium division drivers. So we'll submit that. That is the name. And this is where you'll see the actual creator. So this is a setup panel. Round 1, you cannot edit round 1 because round 1 is effectively the check-in that you're actually using to begin with. That is your round 1. I've already named it round 1, but you can amend it using the manage button if you want to. So this is the round 1. You cannot touch this in the calendar preview. If you want to edit round 1, you edit your actual panel in round 1. So this one here, this is why these are blanked out. You can't edit, you can't delete. You can only add a round or change round, which you've only got one at the minute anyway. So ignore that one. So round 1 testing, which is all the information here. Round 1 testing pulls all the information, bar in, which is the track. You've also got the start time, the weather, and the game series. The game itself. The series isn't relevant for the F1 titles because there is no series. It's just the game. So let's add a round. So next one will pop up, round 2. So basically you want to name that whatever you want. You can actually name it anything you like in the edit details. So I'll leave it round 2. So track, it just copies the next one, track bar in, but we'll change the track to Jeddah, for example. It'll change it. Start time. Let's do the weather first. So the weather, I mean, typically you would stick with dynamic, but let's say the odd time you want a specific weather. Let's do light rain. Let's do intermediate tires, light rain. So let's go start time. So this is where you go to edit details. So I'll leave it as round 2. So start time, the time at the moment is 7:47. I'm going to just kind of speed this up a little bit. So let's do start time. Just for argument's sake, I will do the date. Today is 19th of the 8th, 19th of August. So let's just say 20th August 25 at 8 p.m. That's the kind of format you want to use every single time if possible. It is a lot easier. So the day the month, the year. You can't do 2025, but it's a lot easier to do that way at 8 p.m. Or you can do 800 or 800, 0800. Those kind of time formats will be perfectly fine. But you will, if it doesn't work, you'll find out. But it's normally all right. You can add an image, which is great. Additional message, which testing 2. I mean, you can add sort of short quality, 50% race. The additional message is typically the message that comes underneath your main title. So I'll leave that for round 2, which pops up there, round 2 testing. So I'm happy with that one. So next round. Oh, sorry. I'm on the round here, round 1. That's round 1. Next round is round 2. So I'm gonna need to add round. That's what I need to do. So now we've got round 3. So let's pick another track. Let's say we're gonna go to Albert Park. So this first one, Bahrain. Next one, Jeddah. Round 3, Albert Park. Weather. Let's go back to dynamic. Series. Don't need to touch series. Start time. Let's just say start time round 3. Image URLs. Let's just say start time is the 21st August 25 at 8 p.m. So this is obviously the point we just fill it all in. Additional message, testing 3. Let me spell it correctly. Testing 3. And then add an image if you want to add an image. And tell you. Obviously the image will change as well in the actual embed when it rolls over. So we're testing, you can put as many as you want in. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 rounds. It's entirely up to you. So this is where you create your calendar, or season, as some people call it. So let's just check it. Round 1, testing, Bahrain, 19th to the 8th, totally fine. Dynamic F125, round 2, testing 2. So basically, the testing 2 is where you would have, like I said before, that like the 50% race, conditions maybe, I don't know, the format, full quality, those kind of things, you'd have in there. But yeah, we'll leave it at that for the time being for the testing purposes. So it saved itself. There's no need to save. If you want to do edits each one, at the bottom here you have got edit in round 3. So what we're doing right now is changing this one. So if I want to change the track, Shanghai, it'll obviously change this point here. Well, I'll leave it at that. For the previous round, it will change here. Round 2, previous round. Now the round 1 there. The reason it's why that is because there's text at the top. I will add an image just to show you exactly what it does. Get the idea. JPEG, that's kind of what you want. A JPEG or a PNG, those kind of files are pretty fine. So submit that. What you'll find, that is an image up over there of the track. That's the one I've picked. Happy days. So on the changeover, when it rolls over, between the actual rounds, the track image will change as well. Whatever you want, it's entirely up to you what you have on. You could have a league logo or something like that. But you get the idea. So yeah, so we'll leave it at that. So round 2 is the only one that's got the image change at the moment. If you don't add an image, it'll just roll back to the generic image that you find in the actual check-ins. So yeah, round 1, round 2, round 3, add as many as you want. So close this one, perfectly fine. Let's get rid of that. So there we are. So at the moment, let's just see what we have for calendar. So we'll go back to calendar menu. You want to just basically look at view calendars. So the view calendar obviously gives you a list of what you've got. You could have as many as you want. So that's what we've got at the moment. Just a quick view. You can go with edit, just have a look at it as well, but that's a quick view, as you can see, just to double check that everything's okay and looks good. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so to fast forward, I'm going to fast forward. Okay, I've got 8 minutes to go on this one. What happens is 10 minutes after this finishes, basically exactly 10 minutes after this finishes, it'll just refresh. Let's check in a second. So where am I going to check in? Well, oh, I'm locked out. Is that why? Because I'm 7 minutes. Lockout is 15 minutes before race. Anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, let's just try and fast forward this a little bit so I'm in time. Right, so we're at the 9 minute mark. It should, between it gets around 10 minutes to 15 minutes, it should roll over to the next round. So I've got round 1, test 1, podium division. Everything's the same. The date is, well, 8:20. I changed the date to 8:20 for the test. I did have to pause it and then redo it, but you get the idea. So as soon as it hits 10 minute mark, or between 10 and 15 minutes, it should roll over to the next round. So keep an eye on it, just so we can have a look. And there we go. So at the end of the 10-minute mark, as you can see, we're now sitting around 2. Everything's been reset. The new date is 10 p.m. I did change it to today, an hour later, just so you can see what happens now. And at the same time, your pings should be refreshed. So if you give it a moment, the pings for the lineup, which is our podium division drivers, or in our case, just a couple of staff members, will also be re-pinged as well. And there we go. So for the full season, once you've got the calendar set in the calendar menu, as long as you have the full season, which is whatever you've got set to, you can have as many rounds as you want, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, it's entirely up to you. Once you've got that set, there is no need to reset the check-ins again. You can amend it as you would normally. And that's all you ever need to do. So a massive, massive, massive help. What I am going to do though, is I'm going to show you what happens at the end of the season. So here we are, 10-minute mark, final round. What will happen now is a little box will pop up at the bottom saying season complete, and it'll give you 2 options. So we'll just wait until that box pops up. It just says round 2 of ours, but for testing, I have set that as the final one in the calendar itself. There was 3 rounds, which I've deleted 1. But like I say, you can have as many as you like. And there we go. So basically that is the end of the season. Check-in itself, you can keep the check-in there. So the 2 options that you get, so you got well done everyone, that's a wrap. It also, anybody who's checked in as well, let's say we've got 20 drivers, I will also ping the 20 drivers as well, which I'm going to add the actual lineup. So even though you could have a lineup of 20 drivers or more, depending on what game you're going to run or what series you're going to run. I might actually have the role ping as well, but you get the idea. So yeah, season complete. That is the end of it, end of the rollover. So you got 2 options here: start next season, amend this check-in, or archive. You can keep the calendar but unlink the check-in. So unlinking the check-in, all that does is you can basically delete the check-in, do whatever you need to do. But let's say you can leave this here for as long as you want, until the next season starts, season 2. So what you can do is start next season, amend this check-in. All that does is basically restart. So start setting your race date and time. So there you go. That's pretty much the start of the next season, or season 2. So let's just say, what's the date today? 19. So let's just say 20th August 25 at 8 p.m. So that is the start of season 2, race time updated, and that's pretty much just delete these out the channel. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Yes, get rid of that. So basically, this now becomes the old check-in, sorry, or the very last check-in now becomes the first round of your new season, and you would just amend it using all the options here. And that's pretty much it. That really is. Obviously, we'll class it as a beta mode, but that's pretty much it for the time being. You can check what calendars you've got. Again, if we go back to the menu, edit calendar, select calendar on the one we've got. So round 1, round 2, so basically, we're still edited to that one. So let's say we close that one. Get rid of that. Let's see, we go to manage. Change track. So let's just say we are going to. We've already started. We're already started. Change the track. So let's go back to, let's say, Hungaroring. Why not? There we go. Back to Hungaroring. And if we go to calendar, let's say it's still in testing, and then go to the actual edit calendar. I'm hoping it'll say Hungaroring for round 1, which it does. So there you go. So that becomes round 1 once again. But yeah, if you need any help, just drop me a message in the support server, Dave Devs, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much.